Hello again, Guardians, and welcome back to the channel for another Destiny content related video. In today's video, we're going to be going over Xur's Day Reviews episode 10. It's been 10 weeks since the Rise of Iron, and he's finally located over in the tower again. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been over by the reef, and I'm not really sure if Bungie was just lazy and didn't want to move him, or if that's just the way the game algorithm placed him. So, he was over in the reef, now he's finally back over in the tower. If we check him over by the hangar, we can see that in his inventory he's got the Legacy Engram helmets. You're not going to have to actually get this unless you're missing a Year 1 helmet engram and you want to get it in your Blueprints kiosk, but honestly, only buy one at a time. You're almost guaranteed the one that you're missing if you want to go and get that Year 1 gear. Moving on, we've got the Immolation Fists, the Chest of Alpha Lupe, and the Void Fang Vestments, and Patience and Time. We'll go over all four of those momentarily. First off, I want to go over all the other stuff. The Iconoclast is going to be the weapon ornament for the Invective Shotgun. The Prototype is going to be the ornament for the Truth. Then we've also got Emerald Coil and Stealth Drive. Actually, Stealth Drive does not pop up very often, so I recommend if you're missing the Stealth Drive Blue Sparrows to Legendaries, you might want to actually purchase a couple of these now and hold on to them. Next up, we've got the Heavy Ammo Synths. The Heavy Ammo Synths are really good for two things: using them to get heavy ammo inside of events like the Wrath of the Machine raid, or you can use them to level up factions. The cost of strange coins to heavy ammo synths compared to strange coins to motes are actually a lot cheaper, and if you're going to get the heavy ammo synths, you can level up your faction packages to get to that 25 faction rep to get the actual class items that are exotic. Now that's Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, or Future War Cult if you want to level them up. Next up is 3 of Coins Consumable. Really good for grinding out for those exotics that Xur doesn't sell and for the exotics you're missing. Next up, the Glass Needles. If you don't have a good roll on your exotics, you can re-roll them with the Glass Needles to try to get something that's worth using inside of Crucible, or maybe even inside of the events inside of PvE. Then, we've also again got the Mode of Light. The only good thing for this is to level up your items that are equipped inside of your inventory currently. So if you have something that you need right away unlocked with all the perks, make sure that you buy some Modes of Light. Now, for those exotics that we're missing. Immolation Fists for the Titan class. Actually a very good one. It grants Explosive Pyre for free. This one actually is going to grant you Discipline and Strength, which I would actually rather have Intellect and Discipline on my Titan, but that's okay. Discipline and Strength roll is completely fine. We've also got the Rain Blows, increased melee attack speed, and we've got Momentum Transfer, gain bonus melee energy on grenade hits. Now honestly, I would be running Rain Blows with the Machine Gun Loader, but if you're running the Last Word, or maybe even the Hawk Moon, or maybe even, say you're running kind of one of those other ones like the Palindrome, or maybe even for the Fever and Remedy from the raid, you can also run Hand Cannon Loader. Now, Accelerant unlocks the Sunbreaker subclass node Explosive Pyre for free, which enemies brought down by your hammers explode, chaining fiery solar damage to other enemies. If you're playing on a close quarters map inside of the Crucible, this is a very good gauntlet to use as an exotic piece of armor inside of the Crucible, especially if you're going to be gaining up with close quarters combat with shotguns and you're playing in tight quarters where a bunch of enemies are going to be next to each other. Very, very good perk to use, and you might actually be able to get a 7th column running this. So if you know how to run the Sunbreakers and you know how to run this, you'll actually do fairly good inside of Crucible. Now, moving on, we have the Chest of Alpha Lupe for the Hunter. Now the Hunter Chest of Alpha Lupe is going to be really good as well because Keeper of the Pact, revive fallen teammates and revive faster. Survive supers generate an extra orb. So you can generate an extra orb on your super, allowing your teammates to get their super a lot faster. You also can revive your teammates and you're revived faster, allowing this to be a great piece of armor inside of Trials of Osiris. If you've never had this piece of armor and you've never played Trials, I would recommend definitely trying this chest piece out. It's actually going to help you an awful lot. It's also got Strength and Intellect. Strength and Intellect on a Hunter is actually very, very good. If you're going to be running an Intellect and Strength build, I would recommend running the Night Stalker Hunter instead, and possibly maybe even Blade Dance. But if you're going to be running Intellect and Discipline, then I would recommend Golden Gun. Next up, we've got the scout rifle ammo and the sidearm ammo. Both of these are actually fairly good inside of the Crucible, so sidearms are a part of the meta right now. Sidearms got a huge buff during the Rise of Iron expansion, and scout rifles are always a good gun to use inside a Crucible, especially for long-range combat, especially on those big maps in Trials of Osiris that have been happening lately. We've also got Void Burn Defense, which reduces incoming Void Burn damage. And we've also got Void Armor, using a Void-based subclass. So just like I said, if you're running the Night Stalker with this, you've got that Strength and Intellect, but you've also got the Void Armor, which honestly is a great role. This is actually a very good role. So you've got the Keeper of the Pact, you've got the Strength and Intellect, you've got the Scout Rifle ammo, and then you've got the Void Armor. This is actually probably the #1 piece of exotic armor that you're going to want to get from XUR this week, especially if you're a hunter. If you haven't yet built your hunter character, I'd recommend getting it if you don't want to buy anything else. Void Fang vestments for the Warlock. Now, these are actually fairly good, and honestly, Void Armor, even better, along with the hand cannon ammo or the shotgun ammo. I would recommend using the shotgun ammo, and I would also recommend using your Void Walker for this because honestly, Hungering Void spawn with full grenade energy, and your Axiom Bolt grenades spawns an additional Seeker. Hungering Void is actually very good to use inside a Crucible, especially Trials of Osiris. You've also got Discipline and Strength. Discipline and Strength, okay build for the Warlock. I would recommend the Intellect and Discipline, but I will completely be okay with Discipline and Strength, and I will just run Intellect on my other pieces of armor. Shotgun ammo. You can't use shotgun ammo enough inside of the Trials of Osiris and inside of Crucible in general, and if you get good with a shotgun, you will dominate inside of Crucible, especially in this meta where everybody's using a shotgun. Now, Void Armor is just going to be that next best thing. When you're using your Void Walker subclass, you'll have the Void Armor, just like the Chest of Alpha Lupe with the Hunter this week. You've got this running that Void subclass and allowing you to get that extra Axiom Bolt grenade. Definitely going to be a great thing. Now, definitely worth getting right up next to the Chest of Alpha Lupe. So, Patience and Time. Sniper Rifle. Patience and Time is a really good sniper rifle. One, it gives invisibility to any class that you use, whether that be a Titan, Hunter, or a Warlock. And you also have the Patience and Time. You also have the custom optics, you have the third eye, and you also have the aggressive ballistics. Now, if you run this, you are going to have a huge aim assist if you run aggressive ballistics. You'll also have the third eye perk allowing you to see targets coming up behind you. You'll also be able to have custom optics, precision glass for lower zoom, wider view, great to use. You will not need to use Field Scout, and you will not need to use Fitted Stock. Actually running this top row and then running aggressive ballistics is actually the great way to go. Patience and Time, again, it gives you active camouflage while aiming down the sights on any subclass. So people aren't going to get the drop on you right away with another sniper rifle unless they know exactly where you are. And this is going to be a really good exotic weapon to get if you don't have it already. If you've had it before and you don't like the way it fires and you don't like the way it shoots, I would recommend practicing with it for a little bit. Buy it out of your weapons kiosk and try it out. And if you don't like it, then I just wouldn't purchase it again. So, as of right now, what is the most important? Well, honestly, I would say this would be the #1, the #2, #3, and #4 exotics that you would want to buy in that order. If you're running a hunter, definitely get the Chest of Alpha Lupe. If you're planning on building a hunter, definitely get this chest armor. If you're planning on just running warlocks, I would highly recommend getting the Void Fang vestments this week. It's a really good roll. It's 86-82 on the discipline and strength. Now, the intellect on this one for the hunter class is 138 max intellect, which is actually insane. So Chest of Alpha Lupe, still going to be the #1 exotic to get this week. Immolation Fists, if you know how to run them and you're really good with the Sunbreakers and you're good with the Hammer of Soul, definitely get these for your Titan. And again, if you want that good active camouflage on any of the subclasses you use and you're really good with a sniper rifle inside a Crucible, I would recommend getting the Patience and Time. Thank you again, Guardians, for watching this episode of the XUR's Day Reviews on his location and his inventory. Honestly, all the exotics are worth getting this week, but the most important one would be the Chest of Alpha Lupe, then the Void Fangs, then the Immolation Fists, and then the Patience and Time, in that order from importance down to the least important. but I would still recommend buying all 4 if you don't have any of them. Again, Guardians, thank you all for watching this episode, and subscribe for daily Destiny content if you're new. Like this video, share it with your friends, and again, Guardians, like always, stay violent, be privileged, and I'll see you all in the next episode.